Ukraine just agreed to buy 100 of France's Rafale F4 fighters. 100. If Russia wants to keep lying about killing Ukrainian aircraft, well, Kyiv is about to give them plenty of new serial numbers to pretend they shot down. This story matters because this is no longer about replacing Soviet relics. This is Ukraine building a Western Air Force from scratch. And the Rafale is the most Gripen-like fighter in NATO that's not actually a Gripen. Hey friends, Wes here, multi-branch veteran, defense writer, law grad, and Mr. Putin's not going to be happy about this one. What do you think, Mr. Putin? Are you scared of this one? No me gusta. Oh, I didn't know you spoke Spanish. Очень хорошо. All right, get this disgusting thing out of here. Ukraine's Air Force is still flying jets that were designed when Brezhnev was still mumbling from a podium. The MiG-29 and the Su-27 have done heroic work, but they're outgunned, outsensed, and outlived by Russian long-range missiles, plus the sheer size of Russia's Air Force. Then came the first major pivot, the F-16. A dozen already on Ukrainian runways with pilots trained by NATO instructors who drink more Black Rifle coffee than a law school study group. Then came the second pivot. Sweden agreed to sell up to 150 Gripen E fighters to Ukraine. Now, Gripens are basically the Toyota Helix of the jet world. Tough, cheap to maintain, and allergic to Russian radar. And now we have France. President Zelensky confirmed Kyiv has signed a Memorandum of Understanding, an MOU, or a letter of intent, for up to 100 Rafale F4 fighters over the next 10 years. Along with the jets, France will provide advanced radars and 8 SAMP-T air defense batteries with 48 total launchers. And if you just watched my last video, you know that SAMP-T is actually performing better in Ukraine than the Patriot. This is Ukraine building a 3-tier Western Air Force. F-16s for volume and rapid fielding, Gripen E for dispersed survivability and electronic warfare, and Rafale F4 for long-range strike, air superiority, and deep integration with Western weapons. Think of it as the Avengers of fighter fleets. Each one of those does something the others cannot. Okay, so tech breakdown. The Rafale, the Gripen, and the F-16. Now, the F-16 is a legend. Nobody disputes that. But the Rafale and the Gripen are built from a different design philosophy. The F-16 was born during the Cold War, when the plan was to overwhelm Soviet air defenses with agility in numbers. Sleek, light, cheap to fly. Now the Rafale and the Gripen are what happens when Europe looks at the F-35 price tag and says, "Sacre bleu, absolutely not. Of course I am French. Why do you think I have this outrageous accent, you American pig dog?" So actually, keep it together. So actually, the Rafale F4 is a lot closer to the Gripen than it is the F-16. Here's why. First, sensor fusion and electronic warfare. The Rafale F4 is basically a flying data center. It fuses radar, IR sensors, electronic support measures, and network feeds into a single tactical picture. Gripen does the same. Both aircraft were designed around electronic dominance rather than raw maneuver. Now, the F-16 has been upgraded many times, but its architecture was not born digital. Rafale and Gripen were designed digital from day one, just like all of my millennial friends who are watching right now. Next, multi-role flexibility. The Rafale carries 14 hardpoints. 14. Gripens carry 10. The F-16 tends to max out at 9. Also, twin-engine design for survivability. Rafale has 2 engines. If you lose one, you might limp home. F-16 has 1 engine, and in a missile-saturated environment, more engines generally mean more forgiveness. Plus low maintenance. Compared to the heavy US or Russian jets, Gripen has the best maintenance profile in all of Europe. It was built to be serviced on rural highways during a Swedish snowstorm by conscripts who probably hadn't slept since Tuesday. Rafale, despite being larger, shares that philosophy. It has streamlined maintenance, easy avionics access, and modular systems. Under a wartime tempo, that matters more than theoretical stealth. Then there's weapons compatibility. A Rafale can fire nearly everything France makes, including Meteor. Gripen can also fire the Meteor. The F-16 can fire the AIM-120D, but does not carry the Meteor. So, the reason I say Meteor is important is because it embarrasses every Russian missile in existence. The no-escape zone makes the R-37 from Russia look like a bottle rocket. Plus, Meteor can seriously push Russian fighters back beyond the glide bomb range. The Russian Air Force is lobbing as many as 5,000 glide bombs at Ukrainian positions every single month, including some bombs weighing up to 3,000 kilograms. That's powerful enough to destroy really any Ukrainian defenses. The Russians are lobbing those glide bombs from 40 kilometers or more behind the front lines where they're safe in Russian territory. But guess what those Rafales armed with Meteors could do? That's right, push those Russian fighters so far back that glide bombs become impossible. Start threatening the Russian fighters and the bombers who are dropping the glide bombs, and Rafale and Gripen make a whole lot more sense. Finally, the Rafale's F4 configuration brings better radar detection range, new electronic warfare suites, and improved data links. Oh, and AI-assisted threat classification. This is the version Ukraine will get. Okay, so the Rafale deal is not a contract yet. It's a political declaration. Dassault has a 9-year backlog, producing under 4 jets a month. Ukraine is not getting 100 fighters next Tuesday. So this is long-term planning. Think 2030 to 2035. But really, this is full NATO integration, a force designed to outlive this war and deter the next one. And here's the uncomfortable part. Money. 100 Rafales will cost around 22 billion euros just for procurement. Lifetime operations will push total cost toward 50 billion euros. That is the price of not having your cities turned into blackouts every winter, of pushing Russia's legacy air force out of the sky. Western financing is the real key. France may privately subsidize part of the cost, the EU defense facility can fund some, but I think using the G7 frozen Russian assets could cover much more. Joint procurement models are already being explored. Nobody expects Ukraine to pull $50 billion out of a hat, so we need to start thinking about this as a European security investment, not a simple purchase. And there is a queue. Every country wants Rafales. France, India, Egypt, Indonesia, Croatia, Greece, and now Ukraine. Demand is higher than at any point since the Cold War. Dassault will need to expand production or redirect deliveries to meet Ukraine's timeline. Now, that is a political decision above Dassault's pay grade, but they need to start thinking about that right now. Okay, so the future Ukrainian Air Force. What does it look like? Well, right now, all the way to 2026, is the F-16 era. Dozens already delivered, more coming from the Netherlands, from Denmark, from Belgium, and from Norway. These jets fill the immediate gap. They fire AMRAAM, HARM, and they'll eventually fire the JSM. They help stop Russian glide bomb carriers from getting comfortable inside Ukrainian airspace. Then there's 2026 through 2030. Enter the Gripen E. Sweden agreed to sell up to 150 Gripen E fighters, and remember, Gripen E brings that effortless dispersal and that incredible electronic warfare suite and the Meteor missile itself. Gripen is the plane you send into contested areas where runways are bombed and life is chaos. Then 2030 to 2035, enter the Rafale F4. This is your heavy hitter, a strike fighter, a deep interceptor, a long-range missile truck, a platform with twin engines and the sensors to dominate Russian jets before they even know you're there. Put all of that together, and you get an Air Force that solves different problems. F-16 handles volume and frontline tasks, Gripen handles survivability and EW, Rafale handles strike dominance and air superiority. This is not redundancy, this is layered capability, a portfolio of air power. Now, somebody asked me in the comments, Wes, why not the F-35 someday? Well, the short answer is that nobody's going to sell the F-35s in wartime to a country under constant missile attack. Ukraine needs jets that can be maintained in the mud, dispersed in forests, and repaired with limited infrastructure. Gripen and Rafale were literally designed for that. The F-35 was designed for a secure airbase with climate-controlled hangars and a 20-person IT staff and an airplane masseuse to massage the jet's delicate frame. Maybe someday, but not now. So this is Ukraine drawing the blueprint for a NATO-style air force. Not a patchwork, not a hand-me-down fleet of MiGs and Sukhois, a coherent, layered, integrated Western force. This is how you deter Russia for decades and ensure no future invasion force gets within artillery range of Kyiv or Odessa. It's also how you stop Russia's long-range aviation from dumping glide bombs on cities every night. And then there's also a message buried inside this deal. France, Sweden, and the US are not doing this quietly. The message is simple. Europe is building Ukraine into a frontline air power state. If Russia wants another war in 10 years, they will be facing aircraft Russia cannot outrun, cannot outgun, and cannot hide from. Ukraine is buying stability. It's buying sovereignty and a future that no Russian dictator gets to dictate. This is the real story behind the Rafale deal. Ukraine's new Air Force is taking flight. That's it for today, my friends. Subscribing really is the best way to help me push back against Russian disinformation and help keep Ukraine's struggle top of mind for millions of my monthly viewers. It also helps tell YouTube that you want to follow human creators, not AI slop that we're about to get flooded with here on this platform. I'm already exposed to countless coaching ads saying, we'll teach you how to make a faceless YouTube channel in 30 days. No, nobody wants faceless YouTube channels. They want human creators. I hope. Anyways, subscribing is the best way to support what I do here. And as always, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Crimea is Ukraine.